Hi, everyone watching. I hope you all are doing well. I'm coming on to share a few personal stories that I hope that will inspire you to reach out to your angelic team, to God, the source of your own heart, because it can be extremely beneficial while we're in the body and having this third dimensional experience. So I've had clients over the last month, I would say, who are really struggling with grief and feeling disconnected from God, honestly, and just to the belief system of there is anything after life than what we're experiencing here. And so grief will drop us into a very low vibration, and it can be one of the hardest, most difficult things for a human to overcome and to rise up out of. So my whole life I've been a seeker. I have developed my own connection, my own communion with God, Spirit, Jesus. And so for me, that has just always kept me feeling very secure and loved and embraced by the God, the creator source, however you want to, use the word of all that is. And so I want to share three personal stories that was actually with people that were with me that witnessed miracles in real time, confirmations from the divine in very profound ways. I'm sharing these personal stories to hopefully inspire you to ask for support, ask for guidance, because a lot of times one of the core wounds that all humans, at least most that I've come across, is the wound of not being worthy enough. So many people will feel like I'm not worthy to ask God's help or ask the angels for help. So let's just put that um, out of the equation here. You are worth it, and we have free will, and so we must seek their intervention as we're here growing and expanding and learning through everything in between. All the contrast and duality and polarity. And the goal is to come into harmony and balance within that construct in the matrix, which is difficult to say the least, but we don't have to do it alone. So I'm going to share the first story. I'll do them in chronological order. They're just the most recent. I have many, 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 but these are really powerful ones. So I was doing some deliverance work, spiritual release with some children. And so a very dear friend of mine, a wonderful healer, I won't mention her name, but she went with me on this journey to another part of the Midwest. So we go, and a few nights before, I was under a spiritual attack, and I don't usually have this experience, even when I'm working with demonic release. It's I know my authority, but somehow it had gotten a little close to me in my dream state, and it was strangling me, and I knew it was going on, and I knew that it wanted my anger and my fear, but I wasn't going to give it to it, I should say. So my husband sees me in this battle in the middle of the night, and eventually I put the blood of Christ on myself, and it goes away. The vibrational distance made it go. So long story short, we go and we work with this child and this family. And on the way back, I was putting on a group event in Springfield, Illinois, and I generally won't answer the phone, in the weekends. I'll just for it to go to voicemail. But in the conversation on our drive back to Springfield, I was talking to my friend about the power of working with the Holy Spirit and Jesus specifically with, clearing lower level entities out. And so we're talking about this, literally talking about God and the Holy Spirit. And I get a phone call and I'm like, well, I better answer simply because I'm going to an event and somebody might be lost. So I answer the phone and I put it on speakerphone and my friend is with me. We're in the car and a woman, I don't know the number. And she goes, hi, I'm just here. I just feel like I'm supposed to read you this verse. And I have it pulled up right here. So she read Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. So for me, that was an absolute confirmation of having absolutely no fear around the work that I'm doing. I basically got a phone call from God. The lady proceeded to say, have a nice day, and hung up. So that's one story, which was a really good one because we both looked at each other like, wow, did that really just happen? So I was extremely grateful for that. The second really profound situation was my mother was dying of cancer several years ago. It was really hard to watch her go from a vibrant, woman at 59 and then go down that path of cancer, but that was part of her path of expansion. And so the time comes where it's my family, our immediate family, and it's the end, I can tell. And I start praying for mercy just to lift her, to take her. And about 3 minutes later, in walks the nurse, and the nurse proceeds to say, "We're going to move you to room 222 at the Mayo Clinic building." And so 222 is very profoundly significant. In 2010, I started receiving that number daily. And so for me, if you know anything about angelic numbers, the universe is mathematical. It's very easy for spirit to connect with us through numbers, and they have vibrations and packets of information for us if we're attuned to wake up to look at them. So for me, it gave me a deliverance of peace, of knowing she's just where she needs to be. I always have a strong faith, but when you walk through it and you watch somebody slip away, it is difficult for anybody. So, my mom's dying, and I pray for mercy, and God gives me the peace of my mom passing away in room 222 with my family right beside me. So that is the second profound personal story of mine. So again, I'm asking for support. I'm reaching in. I'm asking for guidance. I'm asking for confirmation. And so the most recent that just happened, my grandmother passed away. She had a long, full life, but she was terrified of dying. It was one of her greatest fears. So before she passed, I was able to see her a week before she passed, and I went to visit her, and I wanted to give her some comfort. And I started to share a little bit of stories about my clients who've had near death experiences, or my clients when they go to the spirit realm, or when they go to God's source, they absolutely never want to come back to the body. They do not. It's a lot of people actually grieve when they come back into the body because it's so vast and the love is unconditional and incredible. It's indescribable. So I'm proceeding to share this with her. She's acknowledging me. She's giving me looks and squeezing my hand. So I know that this is going in. I'm doing this to try to help her to have peace, in just the passing. And so she slips away a week later, and I ask for a sign from God. I said, "Please just let me know she's there with you." Because sometimes you can get stuck in interdimensional stuff, or you just don't cross fully over. And that could be a part of a path too. That's a whole nother subject. But so that evening, me and my husband were at dinner here in my local town, and I had asked for a sign earlier that day. And we're sitting on the patio, and a huge blackbird swoops right in front of our table and drops off a sparrow, a dying sparrow, right at my feet. I have a picture of it. It was just like dropped right um, at my feet. And my husband, he's so cute. He instantly starts to help it. And I know that it's a sign. So I instantly hear, "Look it up." And so I look up the verse, and it's Matthew 10:29 through 31. And it says, "But not a single sparrow can fall to the ground without your Father knowing it." And that was just like a rush of beautiful cooling energy that came through my field. Even though it could be kind of shocking, a dying bird's being thrown at you, you have to realize that the universe communicates in all kinds of symbolisms, deep feelings of knowing. So I shared those personal stories to inspire you, and those were all shared with people that were with me when these moments happened. I get them all the time personally, but I wanted to really, I felt guided to inspire you to open up, to just ask for help. And then you have to surrender it too. You can't ask and then expect a billboard to arise in front of you. You want to be in a free state of flowing and expecting to receive a message, but not looking so hard that you put resistance in your field, and then you kind of become blind from the subtleties that come in. And it can be just as simple as just talking to God as I'm talking to you. I say, "Please, I need help here. I'm distraught. I need peace." Whatever it is that you're struggling with. So I hope this inspires you to know that you're never alone, and that we're always being guided, loved, adored, and watched. And, you're worthy of asking for help. And it has truly helped me my whole life out of all the things I've ever been through, near death experiences, floods, devastations, all kinds of things. I've walked through all of that somewhat centered. I mean, of course, I'm human, but no, having that strong center and that strong connection to God, to spirit, will serve you until you take your last breath. And hopefully, you'll be able to start to feel more peaceful and connected in your day to day life. So, with that, I wish you all the best and many beautiful awakening moments.